On our special episode of Inside Pest Management, we're going to review why you're seeing those articles and why you're seeing the news that LA is now the rodent capital of the United States. A dubious honor, but an honor nonetheless. Well, I want to review why you're seeing this happen. First off, it starts at the top. We've had recent legislation over the past 5 years that has greatly changed the way the professional pest management operator, as well as basic residents and non-professionals, are treating and addressing rodent activity. It all started in 2020 with AB 1788. This began the reduction of rodenticide bait and began to change the laws in those baits in the state of California. It did it by first reducing the use of second generation rodent baits and anticoagulants. It also began to limit the use where we could use rodent bait, dividing it between commercial and residential. 3 years later, we had AB 1322, and this gave further restrictions to where it made certain rodenticide bait that we've been using for decades completely exempt, mainly exempting the active ingredient diphacinone. It also gave full restrictions to where we could use it, commercial, industrial, residential, except for wineries. For some reason, wineries and specific industries in the state of California are fully exempt from these restrictions of rodent bait. Keep that in mind. Next was AB 2552, which just happened this year, and that completely upended and went and completed California's restriction of rodenticide bait. It's to the point where all of our manufacturers are now producing California-specific rodent bait for the professional pest management operator to use. We also have restrictions on where and how we can use this bait per our label on these new California-only chemicals. Why did California do this? California is following other states like New York and Chicago in restricting rodenticide and chemical usage, primarily because of secondary poisoning to non-target animals. Yes, this does happen. Yes, it can happen. The new bait that we've got in reduces that chance of secondary poisoning. It just doesn't work as fast or as extensively to eliminate and control rodent populations. It takes more time. Also, a lot of the new baits are not as palatable for rodents. So again, there's that time factor. And within that time, you can have more breeding happen. While the new baits are effective, they're just not as effective. So we have to move a lot more trapping and exclusion work, which still doesn't necessarily control or eliminate a population as fast as our older methods did. Regardless of which way you feel on that, that's now California. Moreover, there are a couple more local decisions that all of our cities in California are starting to make, specifically in Los Angeles County. These are examples of almost, I don't want to say not what to do, but we can do these things better. And here are some things. Number one, regular weather patterns. They have changed. Rodents are just like you and I. We want to be warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Overall, in Southern California, we've gotten cooler temperature trends, more moist weather, and we have shorter summers, a little bit more humidity. That's leading to rodents wanting to get inside structures sooner and are staying inside structures longer. Zoning, overcrowding is becoming a major issue and causing rodents to have more of their natural areas and abilities to reproduce and populate and feel comfortable. With all of our new ADUs that are going up in people's backyards, that's adding to overcrowding. It's also giving more structures for rodents to harbor in. Thus, more people, more reports of rodents. People and rodents go together. If you have more people, you have more rodents. Poor city sanitation. Just drive around downtown LA or some of the cities in the outlying LA County area. You know what I'm talking about. As well as other services. Sanitation, homelessness, services, all of that goes together. We're also starting to have a lot more mixed use facilities. So where we're putting that commercial, all those restaurants on the bottom, and you're putting all those residents on the top, where you're attracting more rats to those homes. Of course, cost of pest control services. Unfortunately, due to state, local, and county laws, we have some of the highest hourly rates in the nation. We have the highest insurance costs in the nation. And I don't know if it's the highest, but it's got to be close to the highest fuel costs in the nation. Also, California is not a business-friendly state. It's really difficult from a legal standpoint to run a business in California. Therefore, the cost of pest control services are high. Rodent services are some of the highest costs. So not a lot of people, you're pricing a lot of people out of the market in order to properly take care of their rodent issue, thus exacerbating the problem. Well, overall, governments will do what they do, rodents will do what they do, and Versatech Pest Management will always be here to be one of the most trusted and best rodent control companies in Southern California.